So I'm teaching us number base, okay? Number base system. So as you can see on my screen, I have example: convert 1101 base 2 to a number in base 10. So that's solution. Now this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to write 1101. All right, this is all in base 2. So I have, for instance, I'll be counting 0, 1, 2 and 3. So if I'm solving this, I'm going to follow this arrangement. So like I always say, watch this video as many times as possible for you to understand. Okay, backward, forward, pause till you understand. Okay, so I have here 1, this first one, this is it here, 1 multiply by this base. Isn't this base 2? Good. All raised to power, this power of 3. Okay, plus I have this one here again, multiply by this 2. All right, all raised to power 2, plus I have this 0, multiply by this 2, all raised to power 1, plus I have this 1, multiply by this 2, all raised to power what? 0. Now when I have it this way, I am now going to find out what is 2 raised to power 3. I explained before now that 2 raised to power 3 is the same thing as me writing 2 raised to power 3 is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2, where 2 times 2 is equals to 4 and 4 times 2 is equals to what? 8. So 2 raised to power 3 is equals to 8. 2 raised to power 3 equals 8. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to say this is 1 times 8 plus, now 2 raised to power 2 is 2 times 2, which is 4. So this is 1 times 4. And also 2 raised to power 1 is 2, because 2 raised to power 1 is 2. So that's 0 times 2 here. Plus, remember 2 raised to power 0 is 1, because anything raised to power 0 gives me 1. 1 million raised to power 0 is 1. 50 raised to power 0 is also 1. So I'm going to have 1 times 1. So what is 8 times 1? 8. Plus 1 times 4, 4. Plus 0 times 2 is 0. Anything times 0 is 0. All right, plus 1 times 1 gives me 1. I'm going to add everything together now. I have 8 plus 4, which gives me what? 12. 12 plus 1 gives me 13. So my answer is 13 base 10. All right, we're going to take another example. All right, let's take another example. If I have, for instance, let's say I said, okay, let's assume this is example 2, and we have convert 110 base 2 to base 10. All right, how do I do the solution? Okay, solution is the same process. I'm going to write 110 base 2. I'll start counting as usual from here. 0, 1, 2. So therefore this becomes, isn't this 2? This is 1. This becomes 1 times 2 raised to power what? 2, plus this 1 times this 2 raised to power 1, plus this 0 multiplied by this 2 raised to power 0. I'll do the same thing. This becomes 1 times 2 raised to power 2 gives me 4, plus 2 raised to power 1 gives me 2. So that's 1 times 2, plus this is 0. Now what did I say 2 raised to power 0 gives you? Anything raised to power 0 gives you 1. So 4 times 1 is what? 4. Plus 1 times 2 is what? 2. Plus 0 times 1 is what? 0. So taking this to base 10 gives me 4 plus 2, which is what? 6 base 10. 6 base 10. Very easy. All right, so look at this. Now in this other example, we have here, number 1, we're asked to change 17 base 10 to a binary. Remember that one we're changing from binary to base 10. All right, to a binary number. This one we're changing from base 10 to binary. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to draw something like this and put something like this. Remember, I always say watch this video as many times as possible for you to understand. So if I'm changing, this becomes 17 here. All right, and this will be 2 since binary is base 2. Now 2 into 17, how many times? Or 17 divided by 2, how many times? Okay, it's going to be 8 times, but there will be a remainder 1, because 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 1 gives you 17, so that's 8 remainder 1. I will use 2 again because it's binary. 2 into 8, that will be 4 remainder 0. There's no remainder here. I will use 2 again. 2 into 4 is going to be 2 remainder 0. And I'll use 2 again. 2 into 1, this is 1 remainder 0. Okay, now what am I going to do? I'm going to use 2 again. 2 into 1 cannot work. That will be 0 times remainder this one you are having here, remainder 1. Okay, so it means that my final answer will have to draw an arrow upwards. Okay, so my answer will be equals to 10001 base 2. So that's 10001 base 2. Very simple. Okay, very simple. I'll give us another example now. All right guys, so look at this other example. Change 23 base 10 to a binary number, okay? So we are going to do this again. All right, this is 23. Remember it's base 2, so we're going to use 2. 2 into 23, how many times? You notice that will give me 11 times, because 11 times 2 gives me 22. So the remainder is going to be 1. Remainder 1. I'm going to use 2 again. 2 into 11, how many times? This is going to be 5 times remainder 1, because 5 times 2 gives you 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. I'll use 2 again. 2 into 5 is going to be 2 times remainder 1. And then 2 into 2 is 1 time clearly. Remainder nothing, that's 0. To wrap it up, I'll now use 2. 2 into 1, I will write 0 remainder this 1. All right, so like I said, watch this video many times and you will understand it perfectly well. So I'll draw this arrow upward to get my final answer. Forgive my lines though. So answer is going to be 10111 base 2. 10111 base 2. So in this video I have taught us how to convert from binary to base 10 and from base 10 to binary. Now you can go ahead and solve as many questions as possible. It's that easy. Okay, so watch this as many times as possible and solve as many questions as possible also.